But because you don't have something like most people just have to pass it like even in terms of leadership, say that people not resist what
developing like
low backgrounds and they're taking it. So I feel like it's a place where you can for someone else where you can get experience and represent one back if you really want to work in sports. So very passionate.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I really don't want to work as like a safeguarding officer, and I don't want to work in the federation. I want to be like on the outside. Yeah, so actually I'm in the process of, I have like an online platform called All the Groups, and right now I'm in the process of registering as well because I want to be able to self-consultant.
So we'll talk about the barriers to inclusion. Yeah, it's very fun. It's cultural stigmatization. Yeah, the culture one. Many African culture do not.
I almost felt it was more of the experience. Yeah.
It's really sad to have October be the first month that we don't get the scholarship money anymore.
In July, but I was still like, even if I was
You can still enjoy the summer.
You just still have money while you're
You don't want to do that. I'm so sorry.
They scrub them in the beginning, we can try that.
Yes, which is way more important because then you're trying to like yourself.
Ja, men det skulle være en han har lavet den om tid. Så jeg lige til mig, da jeg skruede op ham, han lavede en ny en.
Otherwise, you're on your own base. You're getting going in a day. I know what's going on. It's going to my way.
Have you spoken to Sylvia about this? Because I was literally just talking to her about the record. She was like, oh, no.
Like 5 days and then like
I can't come like one for the change.
Just understand, it's not still decision. Do you understand was it something you're interested in?
Yes, my mom is that. My sister is a
That's fine. And also, I would 28.
I want to ask you a question in that. Like, I feel like, but I don't know if you're okay with that. So I won't be for that. So,
That's our main goal is to do that. We fail at that. And even like, I love the sort of visual, like this and she was popcorn. I know it's very glad you went there. Okay, good luck. Thank you. Likewise. Thank you. See you.
Yeah, my sister she got more.
It's not like our safety network. Without them, this is not happening. We're just like, they're like, hey, here's a list of things to do, and we do them with like, great pleasure and honor. But if that wasn't the case, then we would probably be lost and we would have like,
Does anyone have a mail that people haven't realised?
half warm coffee. And then, well, you want water? Sure, we can get that. Let's go to shop sports. Just running around. And,
he was already there, but we don't know if she has gone. We don't know how it
Yeah, the PowerPoint presentation, or I was just speaking.
You're just congratulating yourself.
no. Everything's going to be fine.
You have to do the air. This is one of the.
Oh yeah, sometimes having some kind of balance thing.
The slideshows, I think they were there.
Yeah. With the sound, it's maybe
like it dance or it's part of
I think it's separate thing.
that's not for now. Because one day we can have a session like which session said dance.
Well, then why are we not there? Just play the game. At the end, they had a big salsa class for everybody.
Oh!
I did not. I was watching. They were really trying to get everyone in.
It's true, that's surprising that they don't really have active. Okay, they have morning running sessions. Don't let them do 7 a.m. run.
So it just has not.
Just make sure so.
This moment it's not ready.
Because you put your own.
Oh,
I don't want to be.
you don't want me to call you Jesus?
No, it's just. Oh, well, my first last name is. Yeah,
For you, the pronunciation will be like delicious. Before the bachelor, why not? Okay. Yeah,
Set up certain applications and nobody even applies to you.
let me sit.
Du ved, det med, at det bare skal skabe den der, så tror jeg, det er
I haven't checked this online, but
Hi, good to see you. Good.
Looking forward to your presentation?
Yeah, I think I'm going first. So I'm just trying to do a quick check on my slide.
I got an email back from my friend.
Oh, great.
And but it's my card.
Okay.
Because I forgot to bring him yesterday. But she said, because I said, what's Germany doing at the moment for funding in sports organisations and that sort of stuff? And she said she thinks that they've cut their funding within sport for development, but she's still interested in me putting you in contact with her. She said she's away for a few days because she was flying out to Tunisia, like while I was messaging her this morning. So it was good that we're on the same time zone for once.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll email you and her together.
I'll email you so you can do the intro message.
And then we can put you in contact with it through Germany.
Okay.
So yeah.
I see you recording the film.
I want to do my session. I'm recording my session. I'm recording my session.
Record everything.
No, just my session.
No, record my
It's too much on my phone. So maybe when I finish, let me see if I can cut for you and then.
I wanted to say, can I get?
I don't want them to catch me, so I don't want them to be obvious in case I don't want them to be. I don't want it to be obvious.
No, it's always
At least
for some people that don't want to.
yes, let me just do it. Okay, so I can edit later and zoom it, cut everybody out.
Bluetooth with you?
Yeah, I'm wearing my mic.
Okay. Okay, you also wear your mic. That's
So it goes in so.
I wanted to say, can I get your WhatsApp number?
So WhatsApp so we can connect.
Is this complete? It looks few.
No. You stayed in Finland so for a long time. Like, where did you
I live in
Germany? So you
Should I call you?
So you speak German?
No, my German is not good.
It's not so good.
No, it's
Why?
not so good. It's not.
The language is difficult.
This is a Nigerian.
Okay, so that was why you see. That was why now.
Should I? Is it okay if I call you Aderonke?
Yeah, Arabinrin Aderonke, anyone. Yeah, not Ronke, it's either Aderonke or Arabinrin Aderonke.
Okay, always Aderonke.
Just make it Aderonke, make it full.
Okay.
You should learn the language. To put it an edge.
It's I'm learning it. I'm taking courses and everything. It's just still not at that place where I want to be.
You're saying their community as well.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have keep a lot of maybe.
Why don't you pause this yet so that you don't start burning time?
I'm the first speaker. I don't want to. I'm the first speaker.
This
That's
one you
why.
gave me is your WhatsApp. The number you gave me is your WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's my WhatsApp number.
I'll send you a message.
I put my phone on offline and I've gone offline so that no one will interrupt.
No,
So
come later, yeah.
no, do it. It will drop after the.
Yes.
Just do it now to drop. But I'm just saying that in case it didn't drop.
Yeah, that's
Someone is here? See a little bit.
Oh, no one is there.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Fine.
I know. You're all far away. I hope it's what I'm thinking. Hey, it's
No, it's
look like foul.
no. No.
because I think it's a local option.
Okay, great.
But if it goes off, you know, it's just like a swipe right for the Oh, this one. I'm taking advantage of the space.
Alex, but I got yeah, but I have to be close okay.
Yeah, that's true. When I'm talking, that is true. You have to clean our screen. Yeah.
So maybe if somebody in a wheelchair comes.
Yeah.
Seems like we have no one. Even though it's an accessible room.
So maybe everyone should.
All right. Welcome to this post-lunch session. It is my goal that nobody falls asleep. 2 hours. So today we're going to look at inclusion and diversity and breaking barriers to sport. My name is Arabinrin Aderonke. I'll be your moderator. I am I'm part of the program committee representing the Danish NOC, and I've also worked a lot at the sort of intersection of sport and society, and I've been the sort of focal point for our diversity and inclusion policy at the Danish Confederation of Sport. Now I am at Copenhagen Business School doing research to finish my PhD, and I'm looking at a broader sort of, actually a paradox perspective on implementing sustainability strategies. And so I'm going to have to talk about paradoxes. So there is a paradox in the world of sport, and that is that we are one of the most eliminating, areas at all, because we eliminate based on talent and performance all the time. All competitions is basically about, kicking somebody out and having somebody win. But at the same time, our entire legitimacy rests on our ability to give everyone access to that playing field, so that at least they have the opportunity to lose and be excluded. But if we're not able to make space for all the ways there are to be human, and and to break down the barriers there are for people to make their way onto our fields, we lose our legitimacy and our justification in a society that most societies invest a lot in sports, because we kind of agree that it should be a generally positive force in our society, something we associate with good. And inclusion is one of those key elements that it is for everybody. It should be accessible for everybody. And so this session we're going to look at where are those barriers and how do we break them. And we have some amazing researchers who's gonna give us different perspectives. We're gonna look at gender equality. We're also gonna have a lot of focus on parasports and how we can break down the barriers for access for para-athletes, and also the kinds of discrimination and elimination that a lot of these minorities or people with disabilities experience in the world of sport, and how we can overcome that. So, the way it's going to work, I have the cards, and we actually have 6 speakers, so that means the 10 minutes, I'm serious about those 10 minutes, because otherwise we won't have time for any kind of debate. But what I will do, and what we also did in the last session, is that when those 10 speakers have spoken, instead of me asking a bunch of prepared questions, I will open it up for you guys, because this is going to be a dialogue. Everybody in this room probably knows more about this than I do, so there's no point in me wasting your time with irrelevant questions. I'm going to let you actually talk to the panel, and even if the panel has questions for each other, you're welcome to ask them as well. So let this be the whole theme of Play the Game is driving dialogue for democracy, and this is where the dialogue starts. This is with us co-creating our understanding of what we mean when we talk about inclusion in sport. So, without further ado, I'm going to invite the first speaker, Ms. Aderonke.
Thank you.
From Nigeria. She's the founder and executive director of FAME. And I had written down what it stands for, but you're going to tell me because I forgot. But it has to do with girls.
I know.
And disabilities. So what you're going to talk about is integration of marginalized and persons with disabilities, a study of African sports. I'm very excited to hear this.
Thank you.
Welcome, Aderonke.
Thank you. So you did show me, yeah, I guess. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. So I'm excited to be here. And what I want to talk about, 10 minutes may not be enough at all. It could be like series. We can talk about it for years. So I would wrap it up so that we can interact. And when I go for public speaking, I love it to be interactive, not just me talking. So please, let's move together. Let's do this together. So I will looking at how to integrate persons with disabilities. A case study of African sport. It's a research that I've been working on for more than 4 years. It's kind of broad, but I'll summarize it in just 10 slides and in like 8 minutes. So for our European participants, I will speak slowly. So yeah, FAME Foundation, like Crick said, its FAME is female advocacy, mentorship and empowerment, and we've been working in Nigeria for 10 years, and we've been able to work in other African countries, 3 other African countries as well, and is a non-for-profit organization, and we believe in the power of sport. I would start from my country, Nigeria. Nigeria is a country with over 200 million people, and we have over 500 indigenous language spoken. We have over 200 ethnic groups as well, so which makes us diverse. So while working in sport, I grew up in the family of sport, and I was able to, at a young age, know that there is power in sport for change. And since 2010, I've been working in sport for development before FAME Foundation came up, and we've been able to use sport as a tool for development consistently for 6 years. So now we're not talking about the para sports initiative and the gender equality. Looking at, I'm so happy that my colleague from Nigeria, or my friend from Nigeria, will talk about women, the gender part of persons with disabilities, which I will not go into. And so as we know, I think it's like a cliche that we talk about problems, issues. We know there is a problem, and there's no system in the world that is perfect. I stand to be corrected. So the para people working in sport faces barrier, they face poverty, geographical disparities, and there are reasons why the second paragraph is so. I will go to that in my as I speak. And so we talk about inclusion in sports. It's not enough that women are not supported in sports. Talk less of, able-bodied women are not supported in sport. Talk less of persons with disabilities. And as an African, and as from Africa, it is a problem. It is a serious issue that are underreported, under-discussed. So in African context, as you can see, they are marginalized, and they are highly marginalized. And these exclusions, as you can see, according to a research by Giza in 2003, is is a combination of their physical obstacles, social stigma, policy neglect, and underfunded infrastructure. I'll go to the issue of policy. I think if we want changes for persons with disabilities in sport in Africa, policy is the way to go. And there is policy writing, there's policy drafting, but implementation of policy is a problem. Consistency, sustainability, implementation of policy is what we also need to talk about when I move. So the intersection of disability with poverty and, of course, rural isolation and educational disadvantage means lack of access, to sport for some individuals, like almost 90% individuals with disabilities in sport, actually. And this is the fact that most of them live in rural communities. And it is sad enough that some people living with disabilities don't even allow to be seen. Even parents with children with disabilities are not proud enough to bring these children to public. Talk less of supporting people in sports. They'll be like, you're not well, sit down, and all of that. Yeah. So this is an African problem. It's about time that we also have to go back to families, go back to homes, religious centers. We are religious people in Africa, so religious centers to use as an avenue to preach inclusion, not stigmatization. So, Play a Dream It initiative. This is our initiative at FAME Foundation in Nigeria. We have about 6 different initiatives. We have projects on climate change. We have a project called a STEM initiative for girls with disabilities and all of that. But this I'm going to talk about, Play a Dream It initiative, which is our sports 100% sport initiative. So like I said earlier, that Nigeria is heterogeneous, my country. Africa, we have a lot of, we have over 8,000 cultural languages in Africa. And whenever an African, like let's say for example, during the FIFA World Cup, and we only have one African country left, everyone in Africa, of course, will support the African country. The same thing, I believe, in Europe. And in Nigeria, for example, we have our diversity, and when it comes to football, that's the number one sport. For those of you from the US, soccer. So it's the number one sport in Nigeria today, and it is a strong language that could be used to drive changes. And I can tell you, as someone working in sport for development for 15 years, it is cost, it is cost effective, it is affordable, you don't have to spend so much money to use sport for development and to see results if you are strategic and consistent. So this is what we're doing. We have used sport as a tool, for sport activities, for mentorship. We have our mentors all over the world. We have advocacy, and sensitization project, psychosocial support, and digital campaigns, educational, you can see all of them. Para soccer tournaments, which we have been doing for about 5 years now. And yesterday I attended a session on safe sport, and I did ask a question. I asked the panelists. I was like, okay, so we are working with people with this the displaced camp, IDP. We have internally displaced persons, so we call them refugees worldwide, but Nigeria, the people that have been displaced by internal conflict, farmers herders clash. We all know about the Boko Haram terrorism, which has really gone down now, but the people are displaced. Over 10 million people are displaced right now in the country, and they need help. So we have been using sport as a tool to support them. So you can read up, play, dream it, you can Google it. There's a whole lot of information on that. And so diversity and inclusion. So I'll go back here. I need to let you know that one of our ambassadors that was appointed 2 years ago is Folashade Olafemi Ayo, who is Nigeria para soccer, weightlifting. The person holding the record today is a Nigerian, and she's an ambassador. We have been taking her around the country to empower, to mentor persons with disabilities. So she's saying I should round off. I'm almost done, don't worry. So diversity and inclusion in sports. So the principle of diversity and inclusion is this you can see underpins the equitable access to participation in sport, especially in the African context, where structural exclusion of specific segments of the population, often marginalized due to socio-economic background and all that. So you can see also that it means the proactive engagement of people of all identities from, they have their... So now I want to talk about this, the fact that it's 2 slides actually, so she's rushing me. Okay, so I need to say that, okay, so when we talk about this area, diversity and inclusion, we have a problem of including them. Looking at the policies, even the sport policies, sport development policies have not been reviewed in my country for like 20 years now. It's obsolete. It's like that was before technology was. We live in a digital age, and with technology we can do much more than this. Technology can help us to even include, to do better by these people. So looking at diversity and inclusion, they are not included. We have a problem of diversity and inclusion in sports. So let me just round this off like that. Madam, sorry. Okay, I should. So barriers to inclusion, I'm almost done. So barriers to inclusion. So now I am still going to talk about it. There's a huge problem. There's a huge gap between the persons with disabilities in sport and able-bodied sportsmen. So cultural stigmatization and discrimination. Like I said, even parents discriminate against their children. Parents with kids with disabilities. Talk less of the public, talk less of neighbors, friends, and all that. We have lack of inclusive infrastructure. We have an infrastructural problem in Africa, and for able-bodied sportsmen. So now imagine the persons with disabilities. What about access? like access to sport facilities, are they friendly for persons with disabilities? These are questions we need to ask. We need to upgrade a lot of our infrastructure to meet up, to support them, to encourage them, because if the infrastructure is not good, they will not even be encouraged to participate in sport. Funding strategies, weak policies and underrepresentation in leadership, limited media coverage of marginalized groups. So weak policies, you know that, I mean, the policies, we have policy, but it's obsolete, like I said. But implementation, it's a problem. Okay, red card. Okay, so research outcomes. So like I said that I've been working on this research for like a long time, I can say. But patterns of participation and socioeconomic disparities. Track and field, wheelchair basketball were identified, regional differences in policies and infrastructures, institutional engagement gaps and implementation gaps, like I've said that earlier, examples of impact in the field, limitation of data and monitoring. Then on discussion and analysis, the policy practice disconnect of inclusion in African sport. I've said it earlier on that, you know, we need inclusion, we need them to be supported. You are not an affiliated official of FEM in a specific case, you know, and the role of grassroots as change catalyst. Grassroots sport. If we can, if grassroots athletes can be empowered, can be supported, they will grow up to, you know, become something, madam, I'm working with leadership and representation, visibility, media, and the power of narrative, transformative tools and technology and data, and strategies for inclusion, community-based grassroots programs, development and enforcement of inclusive policy, leadership development and capacity building, inclusive media representation, storytelling, technology and innovation for accessibility. I think that we can also look at the issue of technology. We live in a digital age, and a lot can actually be done to support, you know, para-athletes in you know, achieving their goals. So implications and future directions. I can share my slide with you, and you can come to me to share my. I have a research ready. I can share my research outcome with you, and it's bulky actually. So I'm rounding off.
I loved your presentation.
Conclusion.
Really
so sports has a magnetic power for social change, identity building, and national unity. So I want to conclude by saying this: that para athletes need. These are my references, so thank you. So para athletes need our support,
yes,
policy reviews, implementation, and not pity at all. They don't need our pity, they need our support, empowerment, policy reviews, not pity. Thank you.
Thank you. There was so much information that, and I can really recommend getting there and sort of reading through it, because it's very informative, the whole presentation. And one of the things that I definitely liked about it was that's also kind of pointing to something